Check out this next clip. I was on Terrence Murphy's podcast. He asked me about the top 3 books in business and life that I recommend, and I went ahead and gave that information. It's my secret 3 books. It's what allows us to be able to play with our daughters and color hearts and beautiful things. She does way better than me, but check out the clip. Hopefully you enjoy it.
So we always tell our guests to bring in a book that they recommend. I think you put 1 or 2 on Profit First, Predictable Revenue. Tell me about that, man, real quick.
Yeah, so it's funny because I always tell our users, like, I started doing big product changes after running into Profit First and Predictable Revenue. Number one, Predictable Revenue is one of the most genius salesmen, in the world. It took, Salesforce to 100 million ARR is mind-boggling, and I just believe in the principles. I think those 2 books combined make to where the mindset of an entrepreneur is where it needs to be. It keeps the focus on continuing to build active income, continuing to increase as much revenue as you can through sales, but then also making sure you're focused on keeping and retaining as much profits as possible in your company, because ultimately profits is king, right? The more profits that you can deliver is what makes you more valuable. And most importantly, as long as you have processes driven around how you've achieved that result, right? And it's documented and it's repeatable and the CEO can step away from it, you now have something you can sell. And for me, and it's pretty morbid, I admit, I always think if I'm leaving my office and I go to drive through the intersection next to Dodge's Chicken here in the corner, if I get sideswiped and I'm laying there bleeding to death, like what's gonna happen? So I think with Profit First and Predictable Revenue and the mindset of process-driven, sellable companies, if you can't sell it, it's not a company in my opinion, then I know that as I'm laying there taking my last breath, as long as I have all the entity structure and trusts and everything else structured properly, my family is gonna still be okay. And before it was different. I was looking at spending everything into my companies. I was literally, the stupidest thing, I was literally spending everything by the end of the year so that I didn't have profit, so I didn't have to pay taxes. It was the stupidest thing. And I went from reading that to reading Profit First and then having a 6-figure tax bill. I'm like, cool, I'm okay with it. Why? Because I took profits all year, right? I preserved my tax money and I paid the taxes. And now I reinvest that into, commercial deals, and sooner or later after those investments, that tax bill will go away and it'll continue to go lateral. So that's my big one. And the process of those 2 books and then the 7, I can't remember if it's the 7 tips or the 7. I always read it. Anytime I'm reading smoking a cigar, I never even look at the cover no more. I just pull it out and I have it all highlighted. And I just sit there and I just read my highlights. It's the 7 Strategies of Wealth and Happiness. 7 Strategies of Wealth and Happiness by Jim Rohn is like the pillar stone of my life belief system. So it's really those 3 books that I kind of just are like my beacons.